I imagine their boots kicked in our front door the same way the hijacked plane crashed into the World Trade Center before everything collapsed. I wasn't always an orphan, you know. I wasn't always redefining family just to realize how alone I was. I wasn't always having staring contests with mirrors to figure out who I am or who I'm not before they came for them. I remember my parents as ends of a shoelace on a worn-out sneaker that sometimes became undone, especially in poor weather, but both knew family can't run on a loose shoe. Remember the day the two tied the knot. Remember both holding each other like a cocoon. Mother smiling like the hammock they both rested on. Father singing to her in tune with everything. What a beautiful butterfly they must have turned out to be. After that, I don't remember much about my parents. But I'll never forget the morning the terrorists attacked my home. I awoke to the pat-downs of their flashlights and the alarm clock of my mother screaming in the next room. The stampede of intruders shook the ground as if they knew it was their fault. The initials on their jackets explained the temperature of the room. ICE. I was young, not old enough to know what the Patriot Act meant, but knew very well what it means to protect your home. As I tried to impede the bigoted hands that swallowed my father, immigration officers who mistook a man for a mug, his skin for mud, and found something to step on, interpreted reaching for my mother as resistance and showed us what the war on terror looks like as they slammed his body against walls, knocking down traditional ornaments and photos. Right before cropping family at a family portrait, I felt like a third world country was collapsing in front of me by American hands as their knuckles opened fire with every bullet of a jab saying, "You don't belong here, you don't belong here, you don't belong here." It was the first and the only time I've seen my father surrender. Hands tied behind his back, head down as if his swollen face weighed more, kneeling like a bad paperclip that couldn't hold together his Salvadorian citizenship and his American green card, when my mother yelled at the officers with her heart, English, and family all broken, not knowing they would come for her later that week, until the whole house became a ghost town, until I was the only dying person in the living room, sat in a deafening silence as my teardrops exploded against the floor as loud as the bombs in Baghdad or the fireworks of 4th of July. America, tell me, how gorgeous does independence sound when you're capturing another country? Do their white flags become your star-spangled banner when you're done wiping the blood off of your hands? Do you find it ironic that the people you are trying to keep out with fences are the same ones building them? Force people out of their homeland in the name of homeland security. I get it. You were just trying to show me what it's like to have foreigners invade your home, and I got it. Spend the rest of my life like a hijab in rural North Carolina, like chopsticks in an American restaurant, like a sore thumb in a room full of middle fingers all staring at me. Grew up stray with international phone calls for parents, and my body language as a language barrier became homeless, living at my aunt's house. And I could go on how No Child Left Behind does not apply to American kids with foreign parents, on how a digital hug from your mother countries away does not feel as comforting, on how 5,000 children have lost parents to deportation already, and 15,000 more face similar threats in the next 5 years, on how we are all immigrants, all seeds that fell in different directions, but all rooted in the same tree, because last I checked, there is only one race, the human race, and I could go on. But I know you have a family to go home to. I just wish I still had mine too. Thank you.